What's up, you guys? We're back with another episode of Who Even Asked. I'm Tay.
And I'm Jazz.
And how's your week been?
My week has been pretty good, actually. It was a, 4-day weekend? 3-day weekend? Because of Memorial Day, so... And then I called in on the day after Memorial Day because I didn't want to go to work.
Fair.
Yeah. I was just like... Just didn't want to go to work. I was like, just one more day and then I'll be ready. So
It'd be like that sometimes.
Yeah, it was nice. How about your week?
It was good. I was busy. I did not have a 3-day weekend. I forget about holidays like that. I just always like have my regular schedule pretty much. Or not regular, but my people normally come in this certain days, so I didn't even realize it was a holiday. And then I was like, oh, the road is dead. That's why.
You stay booked and busy, huh?
Booked and busy gal. What can I say?
Well, it's a good problem to have.
Yeah. Can't complain.
Yeah. Speaking of booked and busy, we didn't write this down, but you see that Chris Lee's got pardoned?
Oh, I'm so glad we're bringing this up. Yes, because I have stayed on my phone all week trying to get like the first glimpse, first look. I wanted to know the second they got out. What do you think of them being pardoned?
I'm obviously like I watched their show because they were funny. And they are funny. But like the way they got pardoned, I don't really like agree with. So I have a hard time like following that right now because I do like the show and I think it's funny, but at the same time the way they got out, I don't really agree with that. Like but to be granted, like yeah, I don't know. It's a gray line for me, I guess.
Okay.
But I did enjoy their show. I will say that.
I love the show. I'm very happy that they're out. Yeah, I think Savannah did a really good job, like, holding down the fort and taking care of everything. One thing that kind of bothers me about the whole family dynamic is, like, how the two older kids are estranged. Like, I know the oldest son is estranged because he, had, like, substance abuse issues and, like, a lot of stuff went down. So, like, I can understand that. But I believe Savannah was saying that the oldest daughter, Lindsay, is the one who ratted them out to the feds. I don't believe that. I'm a fan of Lindsay Chrisley, so I hope that they can work through those issues, but I'm interested to see kind of how that dynamic unfolds, and we'll be following along for everything.
See, I think I started watching that show, like, towards, like, the middle, so I didn't really know, like, all of their family drama.
Yeah, there's a lot of it. I listen to all of Lindsay's podcasts, and I don't know. I feel like I see both sides, and I think sibling rivalry can be a complicated thing because I think both people can be right, both people can be wrong. So I will be interested to see how that unfolds.
Yeah, and like speaking of like siblings, like I guess not getting along or not talking to each other, it's so hard for me to see how people can do that, but like I also understand it. Like I get it. Like to a certain point, you have to cut people off or just like not be around people, But it's just so hard for me to understand how like sometimes families can go through that, like not talking to your siblings or.
I don't know if I've talked about this on here, but I am no contact with my dad. So I think you don't necessarily understand it unless you've gone through it.
Yeah.
It's not a decision that I think is made lightly. It's a hard decision, and I think a lot of things compile before you get to that point, and it's something I still struggle with. There's things that I feel bad about, but I know deep down in my heart that I made the right decision, and that's a boundary for me, and I'm not going to be disrespected and mistreated the way I was. So I just think it's hard. I don't think it's ever easy. You still think of them, and there's a lot of emotions behind it, but like I said, I just don't think it's something you can understand unless you have gone through it.
Yeah, that makes total sense. And like, it's like, I know some people who have cut family off, like some other people too. And I will fully like, when other people talk about stuff, I'll fully defend them for cutting them off. Like, I'm like, yeah, well, that they shouldn't have done what they did. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think sometimes, especially like, not to bring like what is it, like race or whatever into it, but like Mexican families, they're so like you're taught, well, respect your elders, you can't talk like, who cares if they did bad, they're still your family, like, and I think I'm coming out of that like thought process because I truly believe like if somebody does you wrong, cut them out. Like it's your life. You don't live for other people, you live for yourself. And if that's what you need to do to make yourself happy and stuff, like fully support you. But I think sometimes it's just I go back to that like, you know,
Right.
growing up that way, like it's hard to switch that completely off sometimes and like but I do get it, like for sure.
Yeah, I definitely understand where you're coming from. I have seen a lot of people online say like that's kind of like a white people thing to cut off your family members,
Yeah.
which I guess I fit into that stereotype a little bit. But like I said, like it's not an easy decision.
But you're literally Mexican.
I'm literally Mexican. But yeah, I still struggle with it a lot, especially like thinking about like him passing away one day, like and the guilt I'll feel from that, but also I feel those things and then sometimes I remember like how much I was disrespected and abused and I don't want to continue that cycle for my life.
Yeah.
And I do have a lot more peace after making that decision, but there's definitely times where it's hard.
Yeah. I don't. You know, I get it. I for sure get it. And I didn't mean to like make you like
No,
talk about
I don't
all
mind
that.
talking about it.
I didn't even think about like where that was gonna go, to be honest with you.
No, but I think that's an interesting point, and I think
Yeah.
a lot of people can relate to that. I think it's something that's more common now. I feel like I kind of made this decision before it started becoming more of a popular thing to do. I hate to say that because I don't think it's like a trendy thing to like disown your family, but
You imagine?
I feel more comfort now that more people are doing
Yeah.
it though, and I don't know, gives me more comfort.
Yeah, but could you imagine since you mentioned trending somebody? Okay, guys, today I'm cutting off my family.
Come with me to cut off all my family.
I think I've actually seen a video of something like that.
Really?
Yeah, but it was like rightfully deserved because I think they were like their family members, like they were famous TikTokers, I guess. And their family members were like talking shit about them, airing out all their dirty laundry online, and they were like, okay, well, bye. And then they were like, come with me to cut off our family.
That is acceptable then.
Yeah, for sure. I think so too.
I need to go watch that.
Yeah, I don't remember who it was, but I was gonna bring up some of our next topics. Let's get a little nice segue.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The first 10 minutes of this episode are going to be a little heavy, but we have some fun topics for y'all today.
Yeah, we do. Speaking of heavy, you wrote down Diddy and Steve Harvey are lovers. The fuck?
I wish y'all could see like how I write down the notes. Like Jazz has like, it's very organized, color coded, like it makes sense. There's details, and mine is like that.
What is it? The type A and type B?
I am very much type, or no, you know how they've been saying lately there's type C? I'm type C. I'm a fucking mess. My life is a wreck. Just all over the place.
Yeah, but I think you're like, you still have your shit together. Like you have like you're like together mess. But not, I wouldn't even call you mess. Like honestly, like you don't really give disorganized at all.
Oh, thank you. I really am, but I really appreciate that. So maybe I'm more B than C.
Yeah.
Yeah, but to get back to our topic that we just brought up, I haven't been following the Diddy case very closely. I had just seen that pop up a lot, and what the helly?
Yeah.
Unc and P. Diddy all these years, like, excuse me? And, like, he's just always seemed like a real, or from what I've seen, I don't know, but he seemed like a really good husband to his wife, and he's been fucking around on her.
I don't know. So I haven't really seen it. I saw one thing on that. So I didn't really get to do any research into it. So are we like confirmed true?
I don't know. I've just seen a lot of people saying that. Once again, I don't fact check, and so y'all can always come for me. I'm 90% of the time not 100% positive about what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I'd seen a lot of people said it. So
I saw that too. So I did see it. So I know it's like a thing going around, but I was just curious of like how that got brought up. I wonder if it got brought up during the trial.
maybe it's kind of like how like there was a list for Epstein.
Oh,
maybe there's like a list.
A Diddy list.
A Diddy list. Did he do it?
Did he do? Oh, that was a good one. Did he do it or did he didn't?
But I was just appalled by that. I was like, what do you mean?
That's such a weird combo. Like
but
Steve Harvey's the bald guy with the big mustache, right?
Yeah, Family Feud guy.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought.
But I'd seen people who were talking about that and had brought that up, saying that he was actually kind of like a sleazeball. Like he's actually not that good of a person, and that was just like very heartbreaking for me. I was like, what do you mean?
Well, he plays sarcastic so well on the show, like, so I can kind of see that, like, how he would be.
But what's that saying? Like, don't ever meet your
Idols or
heroes, something like that.
Yeah.
So I guess that's not saying that Steve Harvey's my fucking idol or anything like that.
He's your hero. You have pictures of him on your
That's
wall.
my uncle. Like, what the hell?
Dude, that's so funny. Yeah. But that's crazy. But that whole Diddy situation in general is just fucking wild. Like, that dude. But like, that's like, not to make light of like that situation at all. The rest of that part was, you gotta admit that Steve Harvey, pretty funny. But like the rest of it, that whole trial is like fucking crazy. Like almost like human trafficking. Like,
no, quite
crazy.
literally.
Yeah. I love how we were like, okay, light, and then human trafficking.
Well, I wasn't trying to go there with y'all.
Yeah.
Okay, something that is very light. This tea is very lukewarm. Some might say cold. Pennies will no longer be in production. This last batch of pennies is, correct me if I'm wrong on the terminology, but it is going to mint. And after that, there will be no more pennies being made.
I can't remember them. Do we really? Pennies, how often do you use a penny?
I use pennies.
Okay.
I use cash, like a decent amount. So
I never use cash.
I save my coins. I cash them in. I do think everybody should hold on to their pennies because I'm sure if you hold on to it long enough, it will be
money.
worth more than a cent. But what is interesting to me is like, if you're getting rid of them, you are still able to pay cash for items. They're not getting rid of all the change. But what if you need the pennies and they're not there? So I'm wondering if they're going to eventually try to eliminate cash altogether, because that's scary.
That would be, because then could you imagine like if that were to happen, like somebody hacks your system or something, your money's just gone.
Yeah, because I could see that happening on a worldwide scale, like the elitists, the upper echelon individuals, whatever, completely just like nix all our bank accounts and they have the power. That's kind of essentially how it is at this point, but like to a bigger scale.
Oh, this world's getting crazy, man.
Well, once again, I thought that was going to be light. Not very light.
How about we go with one of my topics? I'll bring up a little lighter stuff here. Okay, so did you see the videos of that Delta flight that got delayed for 2 hours and that girl was singing Moana?
No, but that would piss me off.
Oh, dude, it was so funny. I'm going to play this, and these poor people had to go through this for 2 hours while they were circling to land. Well, I don't know if she sang the whole time, but we'll talk about it more in a second.
Every turn I take, every trail I track, every path I make, every road leads back to the place I know where I cannot go, where I long to be. See the line where the sky meets the sea, it calls me, and no one knows.
I would quite literally crack open the window and jump out.
No, thank you.
I saw a lot of people were like, why did the parents let her do that? Like, they're probably just fucking down with her and like, go do whatever you want. Go annoy some other
to me, it's giving the parents are like, this is going to sound ugly. I don't mean it to sound ugly, but like parents who are overly supportive of their kids' like passions, and they're probably like, oh my God, it's so sweet. This is a heartwarming moment. Yeah. Fuck no. Get your kid to shut up.
She's the mom's in the middle of the aisle with a video camera doing that, like the Mean Girls.
She's the Regina George mom.
Yeah. But yeah, dude. I don't know. There were so many videos online of people recording that, and it was like on the news. It was fucking crazy.
2 hours. Like if she sung it once,
she sang for 2 hours.
Okay.
I think maybe I could be wrong. I know it was more than one song because she was singing for a while, I think.
No, like once. Maybe I could accept it, but no, that sounds absolutely awful to me. People on planes are already irritating enough. Being in an airport's irritating enough, and you're already delayed, so you're already pissed off, and then this kid is serenading you.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
And then normally when you're delayed and like waiting in the airplane, they cut off the air. Like they use that they blow air but not hot or cold air. So you're just there baking. This young child is singing the most annoying song in the world. Like, I'd be like, who sings that song? Okay, we'll let them sing it. Okay.
While we're on the topic of just like being on the plane, what infuriates me to no end is people who immediately, as soon as you can stand up to get your luggage, they could be like in the very middle of the plane and they'll stand up in the aisle and just like wait there so nobody just pisses me off. Wait your fucking turn.
Okay, I do stand up.
You're the problem.
Well, dude, okay, first of all, I got chunky legs, okay? Second of all, I cannot just sit there. Like if I'm on the aisle seat and it's not my turn yet and I'm all the way in the back, I'm not going to wait another 20 minutes to have to stand up. Like I'm going to get up, stand right next to my chair. I won't block the aisle. I'll be like, closer to my chair, but I'm not just going to sit there all the time. I can't do it. It's just too much sitting.
I can't get behind this. I'm sorry. I can't back you on this one.
I think a lot of people will agree with me, actually. I'm not talking about blocking the aisle. I would never do that. But I want to know, okay? If you just are landing and waiting to get off and this is your seat, you stand up in your seat and maybe put a leg out. Maybe put a leg out in the aisle. Maybe stretch your legs in the aisle. Maybe give a little stretch.
Okay, I can't do that. I'm fucking 6 foot tall. Every time I stand up, I'm still like crouched over. No, that bugs me. That I can't do airplanes. I told y'all I'm working on flying. I still can't handle that.
I'm flying Alaska for the first time and I've never flown Alaska.
I have a friend whose sister is a flight attendant for Alaska.
Really?
Never flown it. Don't know anything about it.
Yeah, my favorite's Delta. But after that little girl was singing on Delta and they allowed that, I don't know if I'll ever fly Delta again.
I also heard a story like a while back that somebody like shit on a Delta plane.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
All down the aisle, just shit everywhere.
Yeah, no thank you.
Yeah, that was pretty wild. I saw those pictures.
You know what? One thing about Southwest, I am upset that you're taking away our free checked bag, but you can keep those pretzels coming. Those pretzels? Ugh, love.
I think actually that's the reason that my company, so I'm going to Portland in July. I think my company gave me Alaska because they have a free checked bag and a free personal item. So I can take a backpack and like a small luggage. Because I think last time I flew either American or Southwest. I did, yeah. I don't know. I think Delta's more expensive, maybe.
I think
so. They don't. But that's why I love Delta. It's so nice.
I think I've only been on Southwest, if I'm being honest.
When I used to fly a lot for my other job where I had like a whole company card and stuff, I'd always fly Delta. It's just
rack it up.
I think it's off points, but I don't know. They probably expire. It's been a while.
I don't know because, well, I don't know about Delta, but at least Southwest, my aunt, she used to travel a lot for work, and she hasn't traveled in at least 10 years, and she still has a shit ton of points.
Yeah. I'm going to kind of switch back because I just remembered what I was going to talk about when we were talking about, because you mentioned cashless and stuff. So today I go to get my wonderful little cold brew here to get me through the day. And I've been using the tap to pay with my phone. And the stupid tap to pay thing wasn't working. I was like, I had to reach in my pocket and actually get my wallet. And I was thinking this whole time that I was doing that. I was like, how fucking lazy am I that I'm like, I don't want to reach in my wallet to get my wallet to pay for my coffee.
That is funny though, because I think most people are switching over to like tap to pay. I just recently, I don't do like my phone tap to pay, but like I just recently learned how to like tap my debit card to pay for stuff. So I'm very behind technology. I think that's pretty clear. I don't use AI, none of that stuff.
AI is getting crazy too, man.
I'm gonna have to step it up. I'm gonna have to get into the century.
Speaking of AI, first of all, this week AI has been on the rise, like it has. But this past 2 weeks, I think, AI has made some very big shifts, like some scarily big shifts, to where here in the near future we're gonna see a lot of AI stuff really taking over things, like crazy things. My job is making a bunch of shifts towards AI. I've seen the new Google Veo 3 AI videos that can now produce up to like feature films, but it's $250 a month for that. And I wanted to try it out because like the videos look so realistic, and they don't have like a trial or anything, and I'm not paying $250 a month for that.
No,
that's fucking ridiculous. And then you only get a certain amount of seconds. So if you go over your seconds, I think it's like $70 a second or something like that. Something right.
Y'all, this has to be stopped. Like, where do we draw the line?
And to be honest, like, I'm sure some people like hate on me for using a lot of AI, but I mean, and they're not wrong. Like, AI does use so much power, and it's really bad for our environment. So I will be interested to see how that, like, the a correlation in, on the environment with AI. But I have a feeling it's going to be one of those, like, we're always talking about aliens, and the aliens are supposed to come out when we're like dooming ourselves. Like, I hope this is not that situation.
Y'all pull up. Like, how much worse is it gonna get? To that point that you just brought up, though, I am a little irritated about this big AI plant in Abilene. So Abilene, is about 2.5, 3 hours from here. I don't. I'm gonna sound like the most stereotypical Texan ever. I don't like all this stuff moving into our state. I like the way it was. I don't appreciate that at all.
No, I don't either. Yeah, I saw that and I was like, what the hell? What is going on? Like, it's like A Island. And then the dude comes out and he's like, well, yeah, there's really nothing out here but trees and dirt.
God forbid we have
a forest. I mean, God, geez, nature.
Ever heard of her?
Have you heard of oxygen that comes from trees?
That makes me think of that. I don't even know the name of it, but it's like a Dr. Seuss movie where they have to like pay for their air. I feel like we're moving in that direction. What is it, the Lorax or something like that?
Lorax? I don't know, dude. I don't think I've ever seen. No, I've seen the Lorax, the real version. I think. Is there a real one?
No.
Okay, no. Are you sure? There's not a real Lorax?
I don't think so.
I'm gonna have to. If there is, I'll put it up here. But I don't know why. Oh, there's a real Dr. Catnap. What it was. Damn it. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to look this up because I thought there was a real Lorax.
I could be wrong, but I don't know.
Can't spell. Thanks, ChatGPT. Okay, I'm wrong. There's not one. But I could. Oh, I think I saw one of these like actors dress up as one of the characters, and it just like stuck in my mind.
Maybe that's him.
Yeah. But
moral of the story: AI is taking over the world.
Yeah.
Okay.
True. Damn it! I was in it. Oh, I had such a good thought in my head, and I forgot. Oh, okay. We didn't write this down, but I kind of wanted to talk about it for a second. Texas is banning THC products and vibrators.
Vibrators?
Yeah.
Okay. What do vibrators do?
So let me rephrase. So what is basically happening now is that you can still buy them, but you have to. It's kind of like the same thing they did with porn in Texas. Like, you have to show your ID essentially to be able to purchase, but not. The difference is they won't be able to sell them in stores.
So can you just like Amazon?
Yeah. So actually, I don't know about Amazon, but I know from what I read is it'll have to be like an online sex shop, or like they will still sell them at like regular sex shops, but only places that verify your IDs and stuff. Like, they don't want it being sold at like Targets or like, which, once again, who really goes
I'm not that upset about that. Yeah. Now that you like put all the context behind it, I'm like, okay, that's fair. I don't know that like children should be able to walk up in the Walmart and like.
That is very true. But I don't know. Well, I think they just did say just vibrators. There's something else to that too. Oh, the THC thing is another thing that was like really stupid to me. I saw this like from some of I don't remember the guys, one of the government people in Texas. He was so funny, dude. Like, he was like up there, these are the things and blah, blah, blah. And like just bashing on them, saying that we don't know what's in them and like blah, blah, blah. And people were like, we don't know what's barely in alcohol. Like, you're so okay with alcohol, but you're not okay with like these THC products that could potentially have benefits for people going through chronic illnesses.
I think that people can, like, if somebody gets caught with, let's say it was real THC, they can just be like, oh, it's Delta 8, and they can't like just immediately test it right there. So I think that's part of like, the issue they have with it. Just a thought. Yeah,
but they'll be banning all of it, not just actual weed. I'm talking about.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think they don't like that aspect. I think that could be part of it. I don't think that's the only reason why.
I don't know. I just feel like we have bigger fish to fry than vibrators and THC.
Well, I still don't understand why it's not legal at a federal level. I mean, if it's legal in over half the country, like, it's ridiculous that we live in one of the largest states and it's still.
But we also live in one of the most like religious conservative states, so that is the reason why we don't have legal marijuanas.
But Oklahoma's in the Bible Belt, and you can get a medical card. So
True, but I always think Texas has been like just more like, well, don't get me wrong, there's other places like that are way more conservative, I think. But I don't know, I think Texas has just always been so steadfast on like those values, you know what I mean? So
I can't get behind this one. That's so stupid.
no, I can't get behind it either.
It doesn't make sense that people can go to prison here for something that's legal like 20 minutes away.
Yeah, it's very stupid. And you're an adult. Like, if you're an adult, who gives a fuck what you do? I mean, as long as you're not like shooting up heroin or like, you know,
But it's the
fentanyl.
same as alcohol, like the same baseline as alcohol, and that's legal. So that's just ridiculous to me. Also, I think it's ridiculous that our taxpayer dollars are being spent imprisoning people for doing something that, in my opinion, is a casual activity.
It literally grows from the ground.
Literally.
Quite literally. All right.
I love how we said these topics are all going to be like, not one of these has been like, hee hee ha ha fun.
But, I mean, weed and vibrators are a pretty light topic if you think about it.
Yeah, but the fact that that's being regulated to this extent.
Okay, a lighter topic. Cryptic pregnancies.
So light, dainty.
Dude, I don't know what is going on with my algorithm, but I've gotten so many cryptic pregnancy TikToks.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Cryptic pregnancy is when the body believes it's pregnant but actually isn't. Is that correct?
Oh, I thought it was when they don't know they're pregnant and they have a baby.
Okay, so I guess you were correct. It says a cryptic pregnancy is a pregnancy where the person is unaware of their pregnancy until late in the pregnancy, sometimes even until labor begins.
Yep.
So I guess I was wrong. I had seen a video about this the other day. It just makes me think of that show. We all
I didn't know I
know
was
from our
pregnant.
last episode, I'm a TLC kid. I didn't know I was pregnant. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to love that show. And that one, what is it? The one where the Weird Ways to Die or whatever?
1,000 Ways to Die.
1,000 Ways to Die.
I was telling somebody about that the other day, and she's like, "What's that?" I was like, "Oh, am I that old?"
That's my culture.
It's crazy.
Yeah, no, that show was funny. But could you imagine? Like, I think one of them saw we were on our way to dinner and I started feeling weird, so we went to the hospital and came out with a baby.
I could see this happening to myself.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Because some people, honestly, they don't gain weight sometimes and stuff. But, like, how does that work? Like, if you keep drinking and shit, like... Because, I mean, at that point, it wouldn't be your fault. Like, you don't know you're pregnant.
Yeah, see, I think in that case, they could, like, verify that there has been absolutely no visits. Like, they could check that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there are some babies that end up being okay. I mean, think of all the meth heads that have babies that end up being fine. So, I mean, not ideal, obviously, not advocating for that, but I do think some of them do end up being fine. One thing I do think that could be a little scary with that is they obviously drug test you and do all these tests to make sure after you have the baby. Or I think in typical situations, I don't know how this situation would work, but they do test for those substances, and CPS can get involved immediately after birth if substances are found. So I think that's a little scary if you did not know and you had been, partying, living it up, and then you have a CPS case. And do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that seems like, especially in Texas,
Yeah.
that could definitely be a thing.
Yeah.
I think that's a little scary.
That is a little scary.
Imagine, though, you're on your way to go get, like, Texas Roadhouse or something, and you just poop out a kid.
That'd be wild.
Crazy work.
Yeah, it is crazy. But the body's really weird like that, because I've seen people also talk about, like, how your body, like, can think you're pregnant and you're not. Like, and they'll just give you all the symptoms.
That's what I thought cryptic pregnancy meant.
Oh.
So, yeah, no, that is strange. I've seen that happen in animals, where they, like, get pregnant and, like, do all the things, and they think they're having a baby, and then they don't. And then they just feel, like, depressed because they don't have the baby. Okay, I finally did find something on our list that I think is very light.
This is the last thing on the list, too. There's, like, only one thing left.
Yeah, because the other thing is heavier. So this actually is the lightest topic of today.
Okay.
I just thought of this randomly the other day. What is one cooking / kitchen task that you absolutely hate, even though it isn't that difficult / complicated?
Dishes. Taking the dishes out of the dishwasher.
Really?
It's not complicated, but what pisses me off is like, I guess my dishwasher's not that great. And what will happen is it won't dry them fully. So I have to pull them out, keep it open, turn anything over that may have little water in it. And if I feel, because sometimes it puts water in there and I'm like, there's stuff in there. Now it's not clean. Like,
Yeah.
So I'll have to hand wash that, put it back in the dishwasher to let it all air dry, open it up. And that's why it's a pain in the ass to me.
So you just need a better dishwasher and you wouldn't hate this task as much.
Yeah. Because like my parents, theirs gets hot, like really hot.
Mm-hmm.
Like so much that when you pull it out, you can barely touch the dishes.
That's how mine is.
Yeah.
I have a few on this list. While we're on the topic of dishwashers, I am not cleaning out the dishwasher trap. That is a blue job in my house. I'm not doing it. I will throw up.
There's a trap?
Yeah, there's like a trap in the bottom that catches like any like little pieces of like food. Not that I'm putting my dishes in the dishwasher with like a shit ton of food on them. I want to clarify, I'm not nasty.
You
but
mean you're not putting a whole rib in there?
No, I'm not putting the whole rib in there. But sometimes it does catch stuff, so I'm not doing that. That's an awful task that I hate. Another one, shredding chicken. I hate it. To me, that's awful.
Chicken.
I know it's simple, not that complicated. I hate shredding chicken.
How often do you shred chicken?
A decent amount.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time I've ever shredded chicken.
Sometimes I like hate shredding it so much, I'll just like cut it into like little tiny like pieces almost instead of shredding it because I hate shredding chicken.
Do you have those things that you can go like...
Yeah, but those don't work.
You think so?
Like, I think they work okay for like a pork butt, you know, because that's like really soft.
Yeah.
I do not think that works for chicken. I've also seen people who will just they'll use like a handheld mixer or they'll put it in their KitchenAid. I don't think that works great either. So yeah, I hate doing that. Number 3, peeling boiled eggs. Hate it.
Yeah.
That's an awful task.
Second that.
I think that's all I had. I was just cooking the other day and I was a little irritated and was
You
just
just
thinking
stopped
of-
and we're like, okay, I gotta write this down. I hate this.
That's how most of my topics come up. It'll just be like a random thought I have in my head and I'm like, gotta write this down.
Yeah. So speaking of just cookings and cooking in kitchens, I've realized since I live by myself, like the reason I think I eat steak so much is because it's like single serve, you know? So I have a whole thing of chicken that I need to cook and I bought because I was trying to eat better. And it's frozen because there's so much chicken in there. And don't get me wrong, I could cut it up and like, you know, make it into multiple meals, which I'll probably do tomorrow. I need to eat it. But I just realized this week, I'm like, I eat out a lot and I do that because I don't feel the reason to cook for one person.
That's fair.
I always have so much food left over, and I don't eat leftovers not because I wouldn't eat leftovers, but like I'm the type of person that I have to really be craving to eat, and I know it doesn't look like it, okay, but I do have to be really craving something to eat.
So you don't do like a girl dinner very often, just like some crackers
If I
or
crave
something?
it.
Okay, so you have to want what you're eating.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
I did not cook at all when I lived alone. I would eat like chips and a piece of lunch meat and call it a day. So I completely can understand that, not wanting to cook for
That
yourself.
would be nice. Chips and some lunch meat. You know what I really love? And I bought, it's like this chicken tikka masala from Target, and it comes in like a little, like a pack, and you just throw it in the microwave. And then I'll get like the shredded lettuce, feta cucumber dip thing.
Ooh.
And then I'll get some white rice, put it at the bottom, some olives, some actual feta in there too. And I'll make my own little like Mediterranean, I guess. Well, it's Indian, I think, but
Yeah, it's a mix.
It's a fusion, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Foods. And that's one like I don't care how many days I've eaten that. I could eat that like 4 days in a row, and I have that in my fridge. So I'm so excited to eat that this week.
That sounds really good. Do you go through periods where you have like a hyperfixation food?
All the time.
Yeah. I was gonna say that's giving like it's a hyperfixation meal at the moment. I've kind of been on the same. We've talked about this not too
Yeah.
long ago, but like I'm still on my hyperfixation of Greek food at the moment, so I appreciate that. That sounds really good.
Yeah.
I don't think I've been hyperfixating on anything else at the moment. It's still just the Greek food.
Yeah. I will say the past 3 Saturdays I've eaten Chick-fil-A, and it's not because I have this bad habit of like I get so busy that I'll be starving. Like I will be so hungry you can hear my stomach growl, but I won't want to stop and eat because I want to get whatever I'm doing done.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I completely agree.
So today, like, and if I'm like, especially if I'm like going out or something, I'll be like, I went to a wedding a couple weeks ago. I bought Chick-fil-A, chicken fillet.
Chicken fillet.
But I bought nuggets. I bought a 12-piece nugget and like the meal. And I was like, okay, I need to eat because I'm going to be drinking at this wedding. We're not going to eat for a while. I literally could not eat because I don't know if I like get anxiety or something or I ate 2 nuggets and like the rest went to waste. Like,
okay, speck of dust.
yeah, I'm literally falling into the couch at this point. But today I was in a hurry and I was like, I have to eat because if I do not eat right now, I will not eat. And so I got Chick-fil-A again, but that's what I've been doing the past 3 Saturdays, like making myself get something really fast. And I've come to realize today I'm like tired of eating out, like, but I'm also not wanting to cook. So I don't think that.
I get that.
Yeah.
Cooking has not been as fun lately, so I completely agree with that.
Yeah.
While we're on the topic of Chick-fil-A, the past 2 times I've eaten it, it hurt my stomach.
Yeah, you know what I've noticed? It's like very much fatty now.
Yes, and before there was never an ounce of fat on any of them, and lately it's like first bite, just a chunk of like
Yes,
cartilage fat.
that's exactly what I had today, and it's because they got rid of the antibiotic-free chicken. Is it antibiotic or probiotic? Or
I think antibiotic.
Some sort of biotic, yeah.
Some sort of biotic.
Yeah. Bring
Not a
back
fan.
the non-biotic chicken.
Non-biotic chicken.
Well, it's true. So much better. It just doesn't taste the same. Even like the batter I feel like they use now, it's just a little different.
It's not as crunchy, I feel like, as it used to be.
It's a lot more fatty. But
That's unfortunate.
this is the last thing I'll talk about. Let me talk about something else. But I realized today, like when I was growing up, my parents, like probably when I first turned 21. Oh shit.
Hello?
Probably when I first 21. Okay. What
the cold brew is kicking in.
Okay. Probably when I first turned 21. I remember my parents wanting to go out at like 8 o'clock, right? Like to bars and clubs. Well, not really clubs. They didn't go to clubs at that age, but they were like wanting to go out. And I was thinking when I was younger, man, 8 o'clock is too early. Like I don't want to go out till 10 or 11. Like I want to be out really, you know what I mean? Like at 9. I don't know. But today I was at Chick-fil-A in the drive-thru and I was thinking, and I'm like, I want to do something today. Like I really do. But I want to do it during the day. Like I want to go at like 2 o'clock and have drinks and, you know, like just come home at, you know, or a decent hour and just relax. But nowadays, all the people I'm surrounded by, everybody's so younger than me that they're in that stage where they want to go like stay out really late and also start like things at like 7 or 8 o'clock at night. And I'm like, can we start at like 5 at least? Like 5 or 6, please. Not like 8 or 7.
No, that sounds great to me. I love a day drinking and then you just relax in the evening. That sounds fun to me.
And so that's sort of the point I'm at right now in my life. I'm like, I want to do something so bad today, but I just know everybody that like can and probably will want to do something won't want to do something till later. And I'm like, don't.
Before we got on this recording, Jasmine is very upset with me that I am busy
Not
this weekend.
upset with you. Not just you. I have
not just me, so she admits she is upset with me.
Let me just say something here, okay? So I came to Lubbock, and don't get me wrong, I hang out with my family a good amount of time. But I came to Lubbock and I said, I want to spend time with my family. Like, I want to hang out with my family members, blah, blah, blah. So far, I mostly hang out with my grandparents. Okay? And I don't blame anybody. Like, everybody's busy, and I get it. Like, I do. She does. But I'm like, God damn. It seems like when I didn't live here, everybody was doing everything, and then I moved back, and everybody's just like, like, I don't know, at home now. I'm like, okay, cool. But I want to get out today. Like, I am so tired of being at home right now. But I also don't just want to go sit at a house. Like, I want to go somewhere, and I'm not talking about a club. Like, I don't want to go out partying at a club, but I want to go to a bar or like sit outside and, do
That
something.
was also a dig because I only invite her to hang out in my
That
house.
no. Okay.
I'm just fucking with you.
My fucking okay. It's not okay. Everything that she does, my other cousins do too. Okay, so it's not just her. So this is a dig at all of you.
No, I do want to do something fun, but I have just been going lately. I have so much going on. My wedding's 3 months away. I'm starting to freak out a little bit
Holy
about
shit.
all the stuff I don't have done. My sister just moved, so I was helping her this morning. We're having a garage sale next weekend. I have just been about to crash out. I feel like I've said this for a few weeks now. I'm like on the verge of a crash out because I have so much going on. So, yes, I would like to hang out and do something fun.
Yeah.
But I got to get through next weekend. And then I shouldn't have much going on for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Anywho, I'm sure y'all didn't need to know about our plans.
There's things you can do.
Did she ever?
No.
No, Tammy, I'm sorry if I said anything offensive.
No, she didn't.
Girl.
Fun.
All right, last little thing I had written down for you guys. I had seen, obviously on TikTok, this couple that got divorced and they kept their marital home, and instead of the kids going back and forth to two homes, the parents each rent out a room from a friend or whoever. And so when it's one parent's week or days, whatever their schedule is, the other parent will just go to the room they're renting, stay there, and they still use the primary bedroom for the parents. I guess they're still sleeping in the same bed, but I guess like one half of the room has like dad stuff, one half of the room has mom stuff. But they did this so that their kids wouldn't have to go back and forth. What are your thoughts?
I think it's a nice idea, but I don't think it's sustainable.
I agree.
Like, at some point, that's going to have to end. And I don't know if maybe they're waiting till their kids got a little older, but I think that's just giving them false hope, and they need to get used to their new reality. Sooner than later, the better.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that's a great idea.
I think it's a nice thought. I
Yeah.
appreciate their intention behind it 100%. I think that's awesome. But I don't know. I didn't read too many details. I don't know how fresh the situation is. But I do think, once one or both parents get into a new relationship, that is going to change the dynamic. Another thing I thought was interesting, she did a part 2 answering some questions, and she said, I guess they had at one point looked into renting, like sharing the rent for the other apartment so that it was more cost effective.
Yeah.
So they would be sharing the house and the apartment. I don't know, if you think about it like that, why don't y'all just live in 2 separate rooms at that point?
Yeah.
In the house? I don't know. I think it's an interesting concept, but I just don't see it working long term. Also, I feel like, does that set a weird precedent for the kids growing up? Like, would they think that if that situation were to happen, like that's how they would go about it? Does that make sense what I'm trying to say?
Well, I guess it would depend if it worked.
Sure.
So if it worked for them and they saw that working for their parents, then I can see that. But also, if it didn't work for them, like, it could have a traumatizing effect on them, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's interesting, and I'm pro whatever works for you and your family.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But I just thought it was interesting. I hadn't seen that before, and I agree with you. I just don't see it working long term.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I could do that. I
Well,
wouldn't.
I thought it was interesting too, like they still are sharing the bed. I'm like, are sheets being changed every time?
I would assume so.
I would think.
I mean, I'm sure they were together for a while, but still. But also, see, I am so picky about like cleaning. And if I got back to the house and it wasn't clean or like wasn't like, I would be pissed off and that would start fighting.
No, that's a good point. Like, this could still bring up issues, especially if these are issues that like you already had in your marriage and like you're still going to have them. Or like, what if one person does something, I can't even think of an example, but does something that would be like a cost-effective repair in the home,
Mm-hmm.
does that parent solely foot the bill for it, or are they both having to split it? You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
I think, yeah, I think ultimately, like you said a while ago, it comes down to what works for them.
Sure.
So I guess I'm sure they have something figured out for that, or maybe they'll just cross that bridge when they come to it. But I know I couldn't do that.
I don't think I could do that either.
Mm-mm. But also, like, the kids, like, I get it. And it does seem easier to do it that way, to be honest. Like, it does.
Yeah, like I can respect that part of it for sure. That's why I was saying like the intention is fantastic. I
Yeah.
love that. I didn't see my dad too much. We didn't go over to his place often, but the times we did, like it was kind of irritating having to go back and forth. So
Yeah.
I can respect that, but I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah. When I don't know, remember. So I think when my parents were separated at one point, we would go back and forth, but my dad was living with his parents, so we'd go live or go stay like the weekend with him at his parents' house. But they also had like all of his brothers and sisters still living there, and it was a lot.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but those are different times.
Right.
So, who knows? And that was an interesting situation.
Yeah. If I see an update, I'll give you guys an update on it.
But yeah. Okay, so there's a couple things I want to kind of get into, and I'm gonna. So this is kind of crazy because we were talking about AI and stuff. So this kind of goes with that. So the Trump team has brought in Palantir, which is a big data company known for working with the military and intelligence agencies to build a federal platform that connects info from places like the IRS, Social Security, and immigration systems. So this company has worked with ICE and the CIA, and now they will be working and pulling together millions of data points on Americans. So basically, the way and there's not a lot of info on this right now, so I'm not particularly sure, but I think it was a New York Times article that I read. And it was saying that they're basically making a database of all of the Americans and like our information, which I kind of think they already have that already.
I was gonna say,
But
I saw this quote the other day, and it's like, my jaw is locked in place.
But like, yeah, so I mean, if I'm being so real right now, like I'm not careful with what I put on the internet. Like all my shit's out there.
I think everybody can relate to that though. Like we pay our bills, they're on auto draft. We have
Yeah.
our credit cards. You have to put in the last four of your social to verify like plenty of things. You can renew your car online. You can renew your driver's license online. So I mean, it's all out there, you know?
Yeah. And I think the reason it kind of more throws up red flags is because there's a lot of talk about like policing, like mostly the First Amendment. And these are all things that I've read recently because I do have like a more political podcast that I do too. And it's that Trump is actively, especially like at airports, people's phones are getting searched. And if you say anything bad about Trump, they will take you in and question you. There's a big streamer who got questioned. There was a comedian who got taken by the people at the airport because she said bad things about Trump on her phone. I read another article the other day too talking about how that is something they're going to be looking out for too, like people who talk bad about him. So it's getting kind of like
dictatory.
Yeah. And like I try not to fearmonger at all. Like that's not what I'm doing, but I do think it's important that people pay attention. Like make your own opinions, go research, like don't trust what I'm telling you. Don't trust what anybody's telling you. Do what you need to do and look into what you need to look into for yourself. Like that's what it should be like. And so like this is all stuff that I've read online from like reputable sources. So it's not just like the Daily News or like random people, you know, because like when I put anything out, especially for my other podcast, I make sure that I do it to the point where I fact check my stuff. So that way I'm not putting out fake news essentially. You know what I mean?
I need to work on that. Yeah.
So that's what I said, like the thing I said a while ago about the plantar or whatever, or I can't remember what the company was called, but like there's not a lot of info on it right now because it's so new. But basically, in The Handmaid's Tale, they have this like they start slowly. First of all, and I don't think once again, I'm not fear mongering. I don't think this is where we're at all. But it's just crazy because they start anything with an F on the account. They take your money, and if you have a husband, they put it in his account. And then they take all the women out of their jobs. So it's more seeming like, I think the reason that throws off of red flags, or I guess it's almost seeming like they're making a database for something. Not really that the fact that they already have this information, but just trying to figure it. You know what I mean? You get what I'm saying?
You're
Am I
right.
making sense?
Yeah.
But I just thought that was very interesting. Yeah.
Going off the grid is just sounding better and better.
Right. Like, I wouldn't even mind living on like a riverboat or something.
A rubber boat?
A riverboat.
Oh, they said a rubber boat.
A river.
I think I'd want a better
A
boat.
riverboat.
Yeah. I really would love to go off the grid and just like have a little garden and can things.
Yeah.
Make bread. That sounds fun.
Dude, I love how we literally, I thought this episode was going to be so much lighter, but we're just talking about so much dark.
The intent was these were supposed to be fun, but
well, the last thing we can talk about, the Georgia. There's a woman in Georgia who is actually completely brain dead. She's on life support, and she is not allowed to be taken off life support because of the Georgia abortion ban law. So now there's the family basically came out and said, like, look, we don't know what we would have done. We don't know if we would have kept her on life support. We don't know if we would have wanted to take her off. But the problem is we don't have a choice. That is the issue. And the other issue is that they have said that this baby is probably not going to live a great life because it has fluid in the brain. There's a lot of potential things that could be wrong with it.
Well, I think that also comes down to, I don't know if you've heard the question, or not even question, the statement of people who say, if it came down to my life or my baby's life, save my life.
Yeah.
I agree. Also, the health issues alone, like, that's one thing, like, put that aside. I don't think it's fair that this child is going to be brought into this world and not have parents. Like, yes, I know she has a family who can, like, take that on, but the family did not sign up for that. No. That's just being forced upon them. A life, obviously there's going to be tons of medical expenses and care,
and that's going to fall on the family because once they're declared brain dead, the insurance won't cover it.
Mm-hmm. It's just like you're ruining this family's life, and I'm sure if that girl was still alive, like, she would not consent to this at all, and it's disgusting.
Yeah,
it almost seems like a social experiment.
It really is. So in The Handmaid's Tale, they literally do this. They keep a woman alive on an incubator to save the baby with no regard for the woman's life. And it's just wild to see stuff like this happen. Like, it's just not something I thought I'd ever see happen.
Well, and once the kid gets here, they don't care about the kid at all.
No.
It's just like, I don't understand. That's this whole other thing. But I just, because look at all the kids in like foster care and all this stuff. Like, it's baffling.
Yeah. And like, too, like, they're wanting to take, free lunches away from schools, or like make schools like more privatized and things.
And then
like
you
that.
send your kids off to school and they're at risk of being slaughtered every single day.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's just, there's so many contradictory things, I think, that it's just wild. Okay, you're fighting so hard to save this fetus, because at this point, I think it was only 9 weeks old. So it really was just like a little.
Well, and I mean, you said 9 weeks. Isn't 9 weeks still you're still able to get an abortion in places where that is allowed?
I'm not really sure about abortions. I don't look.
Well, I'm just saying.
No,
though,
I'm not. Yeah,
like,
yeah. So I don't want to say the wrong thing. I'm sure you're right.
It's still just a little sack of cells.
Yeah.
In my opinion, y'all can come for me, whatever. But
there's another word for it. I don't know the word because I called it a fetus and people were correcting me, but it's called something else. I'll put it on the screen. But yeah, there's like, and go look this up. Like, it's crazy. And this isn't the first time it's happened. It's happened in Texas in 2014, I believe.
Mm.
And the husband actually went to court and won to have the woman taken off life support.
Good for him.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it's just sad and crazy. And that poor one, she has a son alive right now. She has a son who is out there that's not going to have his mom.
But yeah, sorry for the heavy episode, you guys, but that wasn't our intention. We wanted it to be fun and happy, but we definitely covered a lot of interesting topics. And as always, we always want to hear from you guys. We want to get your opinions, thoughts, concerns. Tell me my fact checks are wrong, all the things.
Yeah.
Make sure y'all go like, follow, subscribe, give us 5 stars, and catch us next week for a new episode.
Bye, guys.
Bye, fuckers.